Alright everybody, hello, it's me, I'm back. Now, video games. You know, I was a child born in 68. You know, that made me about 12, you know, teenager when the 80s hit. Video games, the golden age of video games fell upon me. It was the era of asteroids and Space Invaders and Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and Zaxxon and so on and so on and so on. Well, you know, one of my favorites by far was the follow-on to Galaxian. Now, Space Invaders and Galaxian I played, wasn't very good at it. Galaga, however, Galaga was cool. You know, and I know I'm not the only one. One of the most common old school arcade games you see anywhere these days. You go to an old bar or a place that just has a bunch of games, you can find Galaga. Almost every entertainment system that's been produced, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Wii, PS4 even, the Xbox. The one old school game you can find everywhere is Galaga. Now I got a room I'm going to make into a man cave in the next couple years. If I get an arcade machine in there, guess what game it's going to be? It's going to be Galaga. It's nothing complex. It's a simple premise. You shoot the bad guys. It's a point and shoot, you know, single screen game. But it's fun. The dynamics to the game, the physics to the game are fun. It's challenging. It's almost as if that freaking computer knows where you want to go and it sends somebody down to get in your way. I've always loved this game. I always will love this game. It's one of two games, however, that my mother, back in the day, on the old Nintendo systems and all that, there were two games my mother could beat me at. And she actually played and practiced and got really good at it. One was Asteroids. That's a hard game, folks. It really is. And I was never, ever any good at that. My mom got pretty good at Asteroids. The other one was Galaga. Boy, I mean, she could sit down and play a game and it would last a long, long time. It's just a great game. So I'm going to sit here and bore you. You know, you must be even more bored than I am if you're actually sitting here watching this. But anyway, I'm going to play some Galaga here. Now this is a PS4 port. As you can see, the screen, you know, it don't take up the whole screen. That's a bit of a bummer. I wish it would take the whole screen or take more of the screen than it does. I just would like to have it all in my field of vision. I could get really close to the TV, I suppose, and take care of it that way. I'm looking to have an arcade, like I said, in my formerly family room. It's going to be sort of the man cave kind of thing, rec room. I could get a standalone Galaga game. There's also a Pandora's Box. Buy for a couple $100, and it'll have about 200. It could have about 1,000 games on it. It would have Galaga and Galaxian and Galaga 88 and Donkey Kong and probably a Pac-Man or two. Arkanoid, another favorite of mine. I might get one of those and then just get like a 32-inch TV and hook that up and all together. I got an itch, darn it. There's a company, the games are actually coming out this next month. They start at $300. Walmart's got them, you can pre-order them. But they're actually sort of half-scale arcade machines. So you can actually, through Walmart, they actually have a Galaga version. You get an arcade machine with like a 17-inch screen. It has Galaga. That one has Galaga and Galaxian in it. It's got the arcade controls. Now, it's sort of set up and it's smaller than the ones you'd have back in the day. You'd have to sit down on a chair and use it. But you can either build or buy a pedestal to sit it on top to bring it up to a height that's probably more familiar to us all. I forget where all the sweet spots for the challenging stage are. But and like I said, it goes about $300. There's also another version that's got the rollerball games in it. You get like Centipede. Let's see. I think it's Centipede, Joust, Defender, and I can't remember the other one. You get 4 games in that console for the $300. I'd tell you what, I think those are going to be very good, because good working arcade machines from the 80s are getting hard to find. And the ones you do find are $3,000 or $4,000. Here, to be able to get a miniature one with the games ported over would give you a lot of the same look and feel with the the cases and all that, cabinets. For $300, I bet a lot of guys approaching their 50s, like myself, I bet you those are going to, dang it, those are going to sell like crazy. And if I don't go to the Pandora box route, that's probably the next way I'll go. Like I said, Galaga it's just, I won't say it had artificial intelligence, but there definitely were some mathematical formula. They knew what human tendencies were, to how to avoid those things. And it knew, dang it, it knew where to send people, send invaders to this. Well, really what was cool about this, over Space Invaders and Galaxian, whoops, still one in there now. One of the things that was cool about this game was, unlike Galaxian, which scrolled side by side, and Space Invaders scrolled side by side and worked their way down, these actually broke away as they were coming on and attacked you, and then they would actually break formation and do little kamikaze attacks, for lack of a better term, on you. So it really took it to a different level. Plus the colors. I mean, most of the Space Invaders were black and white, or it just had some color film over a black and white screen. It wasn't much to look at. Galaxian was an improvement on Space Invaders because it had the had a color screen. But Galaga, the colors were nice and bright, and they moved around. You constantly had to be on the toes and moving and paying attention to everything. And dang it, and it's just a good, funny game. I probably put more quarters in Galaga machines than any other. That little screen right there, that was always one of the best parts about this game. Is it gave you your hit-miss ratio, so even if your score wasn't very good, you could sort of look at that and say, hey, I hit half the targets, which I didn't even do that. I can tell I haven't played video games for a long, long time. This is a game I can beat my kids on, usually. Putting in a little practice while Tanner's away with his mother this week, just to... Because I have no doubt if he actually spent some time practicing, he'd probably wouldn't be long, and he'd be able to kick my butt on my games, and I just can't have that. He's not going to do that without some effort anyway. Another thing which is nice about Galaga over Galaxian and Space Invaders is this one lets you have at least 2 shots on the screen at a time. The old ones you had to shoot like this because you could only have 1 on the screen at the time, and that sucked. That was unforgiving. Even 2 on the screen is tough. But 2 is better than 1. No doubt about that. Good old Galaga. Like I said, there were times I could play this, I'd get up to level, I'd get up in the hundreds of thousands on the score. I think the most I've got now is like, 40, 50,000. So I have a long way to go. Another game I'd like to get, I always like the Breakout style games. So Arkanoid, Breakout, Super Breakout. I always like those games too. And can't really find anything on the PS4 that fits my needs there. So getting one of those arcade machines I was talking about. One of them has Breakout on it. I think it was the one that has Centipede. That's a possibility. There is a chance I could get the trackball one instead of the Galaga one, because I got Galaga on the PS4 I can always play. And the Centipede one has the trackball. And so, you know, how many people have trackballs floating around their house, you know, and you can't plug a trackball into a PS4 to play Centipede or Missile Command, you know, so I was never any good with the trackball games, but I'd be tempted to get that one just because it brings back the trackball, which is probably one of the hardest things to duplicate. I had a friend growing up, Dwayne Potts. He would often come over to my house, and we would sit down for hours and play, you know, play video games. And he was pretty good, actually. High school friend. I see his brother once in a while, but I've never really, you know, he's quite busy and been quite successful in life. He's so busy and lives far enough away, he's really not, he's hard to get hold of. I'd love to just sit down and catch up with him, but I've just never had any luck tracking him down. He was a heck of a ball player too. Not a big guy, but boy, he played with heart, let me tell you. And he used his brain. He was a smart guy. Well, this actually ain't too bad a score in Galaga for me for not having played it for so long. You know, it's not really fair. I can only fire like 2 missiles, and some of these guys, you know, 3 or 4 of them send down 5 or 6 at me, you know? Oh, I hate the little... I always called them scorpions. I hated those things. There we go. If I could get 40,000 here, I'd be a happy camper. That would be a good goal, and I'm, you know, but it ain't gonna happen. Now with only 2 ships left. Oh, nope. You catch me rocking back and forth like I would on the arcade machine. I mean, I was rough on those joysticks back in the day. This was something also that was new to Galaga, differentiated away from Space Invaders and its predecessor Galaxian, is you could actually capture a ship. Which, you know, in and of itself is pretty cool. Because if you're able to do that, well, then you could have more. See, that's when you want to go into challenging stages with the 2 ships. Your odds were so much better. Ah! I had them backwards. So, but the problem with 2 ships is you're twice the target at this point when the new levels start, man. I mean, they will take you out. See? You're just a lot of freaking target. Hey, I got my 40,000 though, so I'm happy with this game. Like I said, you know, I'm playing around with this. I plan to do some father, some son streamcast shows, just to have a little fun with it. Hey, 50%. Not having played it for a long time, you know, today I'm happy with that. When my son and I gonna get on here, we're gonna play these. He's got a game that he really enjoys. It, you know, at its basic level, it's real simple. Many of you probably played it too. It's called Rocket League. I would enjoy that. I could have fun playing with it. He'll kick my butt, but we could do that. Might bring in some old Major League that I got. Things of that sort. Got some Fast and Furious. Yeah, there's some other stuff out there we could play together. So we're gonna do some father-son video game cast, and just to have some fun. You know, gets me away from watching TV. It gives him to spend a little time with Dad. So I think it'll be a good thing, and I think he's looking forward to it too. So hopefully we'll get that posted. We'll give it a fancy name, and hopefully we get some views. He would love getting some views on something like that. So we'll probably get a camera for the PS4, and you know, we'll try to do it right, and we'll have some fun with it. So we're playing around with it now. That'll probably be something that we do in the winter, probably most certainly after football and marching band and soccer season is over. Oh my goodness, busy. And so anyway, that's about all I got. I hope you enjoyed me watching paint dry by playing a video game. Wished I was a better player, could give you all kinds of crazy tips, but that's really not my deal. As you can see, I got 4 of the 5 high scores on there. Woohoo! So, alright. That's all I got for now. Until next time, everybody, have a great day!